I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they have the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sauce.
Love this intro.
Greetings from the crack of dawn, 10 a.m. Eastern. There are so many good college football games on today. I got to say, though, last night was a great night. Grabbed Arizona State Moneyline Live. Virginia game was awesome. All three games were awesome. But I got to say, despite having a profitable night, having a lot of fun, I wanted that one for Corvallis, man. I wanted for the city. For the city. Yeah. The crazy part is when he dropped that pass, I was like, oh, he just lost the game because he dropped the ball. That would have been field goal range. But then after seeing them attempt a field goal, I was like, oh, I don't think they even would have won anyway. They don't even have a functioning field goal unit. So, yeah, I wanted that one for Corvallis bad. But, yeah, fun night. And we got a lot to get to. Rob Donaldson is here. You've probably seen him over on the College Experience channel. Also has his own YouTube channel. Just type in Rob Donaldson into the YouTube search. But he'll tell you at the end where you can find him. We got 38 games. So let's get right into it. This first one, I don't know. This new, by the way, for those listening, it's Georgia Tech, Wake Forest. And this new Wake Forest team under Dickert is definitely more physical. They play better defense. They have something of a rushing attack. The thing is, they're playing a team that's also very physical and has a very dynamic rushing attack. My pick for the game was under, so I'll put up under. But as far as a side, I think at 13.5, you'd have to go Georgia Tech. I really don't know. I said Wake plus 14 earlier in the week. This is a straight pass for me. So you guys have anything on this one?
I'm on Wake. Wake's coming off a bye, and I think they're the more rested team in this game. I know Georgia Tech is definitely significantly better roster here, but I mean, you think about it. Georgia Tech's been playing 5 straight weeks here, big game after big game. Now you got Wake, who's hasn't even played not only the bye game, but they played the week before on a Thursday night. So I think Wake, it's a get up spot for them. It's a sleepy spot for Georgia Tech. I'll take the 2 touchdowns here. So yeah, give me these Demon Deacons.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the under on Wake Forest's team total at 19.5. Very detailed kind of angle in this game, but I think Georgia Tech is going to keep the ball on the ground, and I think they have the defense. It's going to be really blitz heavy, crash in the line of scrimmage. I don't think Wake Forest is going to score a lot, but there's a good chance to actually cover this game while not doing so.
Yeah, I agree, because my pick would be under also if I was to force to place a bet on the game. Let's move on to the next one. And, man, this is such a tough one because on one hand, how could you lay with USC in one of these true road Big Ten games where they struggled all last year, where they didn't cover Purdue? How could you lay a touchdown here against Illinois coming off a beatdown? All of that. Spot-wise, you hammer Illinois here, but I'm a little worried that it seems like the entire secondary for Illinois might be out. They are so injured in the secondary, and this is a defense that looks like trash. I mean, their last couple FBS games, Illinois, they can't seem to stop anybody. So I said a USC minus 6.5 with all the injuries, and it's disgusting. But I am putting USC up. It's as pathetic as I feel pathetic even putting this up. But honestly, Illinois' defense is so injured, I can't trust them to make stops. Maybe Allmeyer bounces back and is able to move the ball in USC. I'm sure that happens, but I don't know where the stops are coming from. USC might just shoot themselves in the foot. We've seen it happen. But if you're betting this one, though, I would grab a 6.5. The graphic says 7. I know you guys are going to be on Illinois. Mac, you're on Illinois, right?
Oh yeah, I'm on the Illini. I'll be the sicko here. I just think it's a bounce back. It's a veteran group. I know they got completely embarrassed last week by Indiana. But I mean, Lincoln Riley hasn't covered one game outside of the Western time zone. Whenever USC hits the road, they're a completely different team. So I'm going to take the Illini 9 a.m. kick here. Veteran group. I mean, everybody was crowning Illinois a college football playoff team just 6 days ago. Now everybody's like, oh, this team will never win another game again. So I don't think they're as bad as everybody's making it out to be. I'll buy the dip on the Illini here.
Spot wise, like betting logic wise, you take Illinois here. coming off the big beatdown, fade. Lincoln Riley traveling out. What? He's 0-4 against the spread in these road Big Ten games. He's never even covered one before.
Hasn't come close.
Yeah. So spot-wise, you take Illinois. I'm just putting USC up because I'm a little concerned with that Illinois secondary. Rob, you on Illinois?
You know, I actually took the over in this game, and I think in large part it goes to a lot of your points, Kyle, where Illinois' offense kind of feels like a buy low spot, and also USC offensively. Obviously, that's the crux of the team. I don't really know how defensively they're going to look when they actually face off against a team with a lot of weapons like in Illinois. And also, when you're talking about this type of game and a 6.5 type line, I think this is scored in touchdown increments, not field goal increments. And so having a 6.5 as opposed to a 7.5 was enough to kind of sway me off Illinois. But I really do like that over in this game.
Kenny mentioned in the comments is also 9 a.m. Kickoff time in USC time zone there. So yeah, I completely get it if you're on Illinois. Now let's get to my first actual bet. I actually do have a bet in this game. We're talking Notre Dame, Arkansas for those listening, and everyone bought this Arkansas number down. I was able to get Notre Dame at 3.5. Look, I understand there's concern with the Notre Dame defense. I get it. It looks really bad. I'm not even saying that I'm thrilled with it, but I think we need to pump the brakes with down to a field goal against Arkansas. If we want to talk about Notre Dame's defense being bad, let's look at Arkansas. That defense was terrible last year. As soon as they saw competition, it looks terrible again this year. CJ Carr looks fine. We haven't even seen a game where Notre Dame could really hand the ball off and establish the run. This is it. We should see north of 5 yards per carry in this game. CJ Carr, he got that first road game on the road to Miami out of the way. He seems to be getting more and more comfortable every single week. Notre Dame's offense looks very, very strong, and I don't know if Arkansas makes a single stop. So if you got on Arkansas early and got one of those nice looking numbers, I can't say I hate it. I guess our graphics are saying 5. I guess it's at 5 now. It looks like at 4.5 or circa's at 5. So yeah, I'm on Notre Dame at 3.5. I'd take Notre Dame anything under 6. Honestly, I think Notre Dame's going to score north of 40 in this game, and I did bet this. Anyone with me?
Yes, I'm on the Irish, and people that follow our channel know I can't stand Notre Dame. Their fans are so spoiled and annoying. I mean, they're acting like they're horrible, and they're a 4-win team. They have 2 losses to Miami and Texas A&M by a combined 4 points. Notre Dame is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. I know the defense struggled last week, but that was coming out of that lightning delay, and they kind of just looked disinterested in that Purdue game. So I'm going to be on the Irish as well. I think this is the final game with Sam Pittman. I think he gets fired. I think Petrino takes over headed into the bye week. I think Notre Dame drills them.
Rob, you with us?
I'm actually on Arkansas, but to your point, I did grab 6 points earlier in the week. So at this new number, it's like a total stay away for me because I don't think that Arkansas should be operating within this like 3 to 4.5 point range. But CJ Carr, we'll see how we'll see how he looks on his second road start in Fayetteville against Arkansas because yeah, that defense sucks, but that crowd doesn't. And I think when you have a guy like Taylor Green, you always have a baseline for scoring. And when you have a number like 6, a lot of backdoor opportunities there too. So that's why I went with the Razorbacks. But at this new number, probably not going too deep in there.
And I'm trying to get an injury update on Leonard Moore. It doesn't look like we're seeing anything. He's questionable. So if Notre Dame gets Leonard Moore back, that's their star corner there. Obviously, that's a huge boost against Arkansas. We'll see. You know how these college football injury reports are. It's a nightmare. Look, as a New Jersey guy, I think we're going to get boat raced here. Look, I'm pumped about Callie McManus, and this is, getting that Ian Strong back, the receiver, definitely noticeable against Iowa. We were moving the ball on Iowa in the first half last week, and it's not that I don't think this Rutgers offense is for real. It's just they're one-dimensional. And with the injuries to the running back position on the road against Minnesota, who has Minnesota's defensive front 7, I would put up next to anybody. They are tough up front. And so Rutgers is going to come into this game probably not going to be able to run the ball. Callie McManus on the road in a revenge game. Remember, he comes from Minnesota in front of his old fans there. Is he a guy that just has nerves of steel that'll just go in there and not mess up? Because I don't think he is, honestly. Now, if you are looking to take Rutgers, Minnesota's dealing with some injuries. I don't think we even know if Darius Taylor is going to play. That's their star running back. He didn't play in their last game. And their backup running back, their RB2, is actually dealing with an injury as well. So, I mean, there are reasons to get to Rutgers if you want to get there. But I think Cali Kamanis is going to throw a bad pick in this game. And Minnesota should be able to hand the ball off against a Rutgers defense that looks like it belongs to the MAC. So yeah, it would be Minnesota here. I can't legally bet this one. It's a New Jersey game. So yeah, Minnesota for me. Rob, you with me?
I'm actually going Rutgers.
Wow.
And to your point, I think we're seeing Ethan Kaliakmanis, a total college prototypical quarterback, just say F it and run himself to death, go on the run, be a little bit of a gunslinger. And we saw it against Iowa. He was just like, listen, I'm holding this RPO until the very last second and I'm getting whopped. And I think when you have a quarterback with that type of mentality, you have that Haynes King, you have that Sawyer Robertson, you have that Josh Hoover, who is going to be able to kind of move the ball in chunks just because he's a little bit fearless. He's not going to be afraid of taking that hit, especially on the road type of scenarios. So yeah, I think when you have a 5.5 or a 4.5 or even a 6.5 out there, this is a game that I think is scored in field goal increments. And I do think Rutgers has a really good chance of actually winning this game as well.
Well, I mean, I hope you're right. I'd be fired up to win this game. Mac, break the tie.
I'm on the Golden Gophers here. I'm gonna take Fleck and company off the bye week. I thought that was a hard game for Rutgers last week too. Friday night against Iowa. I just can't trust this Rutgers defense. This Rutgers, I can't believe how bad Shiano's defense is when that's been kind of the identity of the program. So I think Minnesota opens it up late and wins by double digits.
We talked about this before. Not to make excuses for Shiano, but back-to-back years he's lost his most important defensive player right before the season started. So, yeah, look, injuries is part of football. You can't just be like, season doesn't count. We had an injury, but they've been unfortunate. Rutgers has been unfortunate in terms of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Back-to-back years, one of the most important pieces of the defense gets injured before week 1, misses the season, where it's like, come on, dude. Can we catch a break out here in New Jersey? Next game is Duke-Syracuse. Dude, it really comes down to what you think of Ricky Collins. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Steve Angeli, who's been playing quarterback for Syracuse, he's out for the season. So Ricky Collins is going to get the start. Now, what's interesting about this is up until about mid-August, early to mid-August, we thought Ricky Collins was going to be the starter anyway. So it's not like just some random backup. Like this dude, I thought he was going to be the starter. I don't even think we found out that Angeli was going to be the starting quarterback until fall camp. So when it comes to Ricky Collins, this isn't some like random guy who's never like this is supposed to be the starter coming into the season. He came in late after Angeli got hurt. He threw a touchdown, but also didn't look very efficient. I'm not taking too much away from coming into a game where he wasn't really expecting to see the field. I don't know. I kind of don't want to drop Syracuse offense off that much. My pick for the game was the over. So you know what? I'll just put the over up because I kind of have a feeling that we're going to see Duke's best fastball here, but Duke can't seem to cover anybody. The defensive line's played good. You can't run the ball in this team, but the secondary can't seem to cover anybody, and they're playing Syracuse. Jeff Nixon has turned into a play caller I trust. I mean, it doesn't matter who he has at quarterback. Kyle McCord leaves, he's still averaging 350 passing yards a game. So the Syracuse offense, I might be a little bit plug and play. So I think we're going to see points in this game. So I'll put over up. As far as a side, I guess, gun to my head, I would make this game 3.5. So Syracuse a 4, but just over.
I ended up laying it with Duke. I don't have a strong conviction on this game. I think maybe the one game bump last week where Syracuse backup quarterback Angeli goes down and they continue to roll. But it's such a tough spot coming off Clemson here. Duke's offense is good. Unfortunately for them, their defense, Manny Diaz being a defensive guy, they just have struggled to be consistent. So I think they put it together today. I think they will end up winning this game by about a touchdown, but I don't have a strong conviction on this game. This is one I kind of want to just see play out from the sidelines.
Yeah, I agree. Rob, what side are you on here? Or total side?
Yeah, no, it's depressing that Fran Brown was having such a really great season, and all of a sudden, it's ripped out from under him at the quarterback spot. I mean, I think his win total projection was 4.5, and now it's like, oh, if you had Angeli, maybe they actually have a chance to win the ACC. Who knows? But yeah. I think when you are looking at this game, it's such a wild card that I kind of want to take the under because there is that upside or I guess downside of the quarterback position for Syracuse just being so bad that they don't score any points, right? And I think even if Duke does go out there and do their thing, eventually they might call off the dogs, and all of a sudden we've got an underfest for like the second half of the third quarter and throughout the entire fourth quarter.
All right, let's go on to the next one, which is a game I like. Mac, why don't you bat lead off here? We're heading out to Pitt, and all I have to say is outright.
Hey, I'm all for it because I want to keep Narduzzi around so we can keep beating those jokers up from the north. I actually do like Pitt here, as much as I can't stand that filthy school. This is a good spot. The backyard brawl, they lose devastating fashion. They've had a bye week. Louisville, for whatever reason, has really struggled at Pitt over the years. I think they've won like once over the last 25 years there. So kind of a good matchup here. We'll see if Pitt's able to get a little bit of consistency on the offensive end with Holstein. But yeah, eat shit Pitt for me, I guess, today.
Yeah, I got a 4.5. I would still take the 3.5. I don't really understand. I would probably make this game Louisville -1. I don't. In what world is Louisville laying more than a field goal on the road in Pitt? Keep in mind, Miller Moss hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked very good as quarterback for Louisville, and now he's going to go on the road. Up to this point, he's had run support. Well, Isaac Brown's dealing with an injury. We don't even know if Isaac Brown's going to play. That's Louisville's star running back. We don't even know. He's listed as questionable. They're going to go on the road against a very, very strong defensive front. Yeah, not many teams go on the road and run the ball against Pitt. So he's going to go on the road in a conference game, possibly not have run support for the first time all year, and he's going to cover more than a field goal as a road favorite. He might throw a couple pick sixes in this game. I honestly, I don't understand why this is still sitting at north of a field goal. I'm strong on Pitt. Rob, you with us?
Well, actually, I'm going to the over here because you know who's also not good offensively? West Virginia, and they scored 30 points on Pitt. So if you're giving me if you're giving me Brom, if you're giving me Louisville, if you're giving me a team that kind of scores in those like 50 touchdown, like yardage, big bomb type of plays, I think there's going to be some here. And I think we're seeing a total of 56.5. That's super obtainable for both teams to kind of push us over that mark. I think we're seeing like a 34-38 type of outcome here. And I really, really love that number.
Helms in the comments says that means Pitt would be laying on a neutral field without Isaac Brown at running back. Maybe, honestly, I don't think Miller Moss has looked like shit. Watch, he's going to throw 405 touchdowns now that I said that.
Hey, the best thing about betting on Pitt is it's a win-win. If they actually cover, the best case is they like lose by 1 or 2 or 3, and I can win my bet and I can just shit on them consistently.
It's your emotional.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah. but if they don't cover, I can just continue to shit on them. So it's great.
Right.
Either way, win-win.
Yeah, you can't lose in that game. Cincinnati, Kansas. I have a bet on this game. I got the over at a good number. I would put this total up closer to 60. Honestly, I think people are sleeping and people forgetting that Sorsby can sling it. And I've been saying since the offseason that Kansas does not have a good secondary. They've barely been tested, and the only game they have been tested, they gave up $1 billion to Missouri, even though they scored a late touchdown there. It was kind of a weird ending to the game against Missouri. But Pribula put up a Peyton Manning stat line against Kansas. I don't think this Kansas secondary is good. Now, if you are on Kansas, they finally have both linebackers healthy, Joseph Sipp and Kamara, and I don't think they've had both those guys on the field at the same time all year. So they have been dealing with injuries on the defensive side. So if you're on Kansas, I get it, but I really think Sorsby can piece Kansas secondary up, and Cincinnati's defense is definitely better than I thought it is gonna be. It's actually not that bad, but on the road in Kansas, there's very few defenses that I would trust to make stops. So I got over 54.5. I'd still bet it at 56 or whatever it is now. Anything under 60 is cool. I think we're gonna see. I think Kansas could score 40, and Cincinnati could put 30 right back on them. I think we see absolute shootout here. Rob, you with me?
I'm actually riding Kansas, and I laid the 6 points earlier in the week, so now it's a little bit down, but not against me in a way where I can probably buy in a better number. But when you are looking at Kansas, like if this potentially turns into a firefight, the way that Sorsby could kind of be forcing the hand, I want Jalen Daniels, and I want that athletic offense at my back because I think they can put up points really, really fast. And again, if we're kind of looking at this game scored in touchdown increments rather than field goal increments, give me the team that scores the most touchdowns at an efficient rate. And yeah, I really am buying into Kansas right now.
Yeah, Cincinnati's defense is better, but having a good defense and then having a defense that can make stops on the road in Kansas is two different separate things. Matt, Kansas just did West Virginia bad last week.
That was a phony game. That was a phony game off the bye week, and we had to play the brawl the week before. We gave them one. Yeah, good win, Jayhawk fans. I hate losing to Kansas, but I'm on Kansas. It is square. It seems like a short number, but how many times do we just got to bet against Satterfield? It just feels like that's been such a profitable system over the last 3 years. Cincinnati gets so much respect in the market year after year, and they just never deliver. So I'm on Kansas. To Rob's point, I think Daniels makes enough plays. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like last week with Kansas, but I think Kansas will ultimately win this game by about a touchdown. They just have too many playmakers, and Cincinnati under Satterfield always finds a way to not cover and not win.
I'll say 35-28 final score here, Kansas. Give me my over. You guys get your win. Your cover. I bet this one. I don't know if I necessarily. It was one of the first bets I placed. And this is solely on. I'm on UCF, by the way, and it was solely based on Scott Frost. What he did against North Carolina last week was so impressive. Keep in mind, Belichick and Scott Frost both took over a brand new team at the same time. Now I get it; it's not exactly brand new to Scott Frost. He's familiar with the facilities, but it was a brand new team to him. So Bill Belichick and Scott Frost take over new teams that are with mostly brand new rosters at the same time. They meet in week 4, and it was very evident that one team was way better coached than the other. And I mean, they didn't even belong on the same field. And honestly, if you just match them up with talent, it's not like UCF has a blow away more talented team. North Carolina has some high priced talent there. So what Scott Frost had his team so much more prepared in 4 weeks than Belichick had North Carolina. Now, obviously, Scott Frost in college football maybe a little more acclimated to it, and Belichick might need more of an adjustment period, I suppose you could say. But I'm just really impressed with how UCF looked, and Taven Jackson looks like he's been the starting quarterback at UCF for 4 years. He looks so comfortable in the pocket. He's handling pressure well. I mean, this dude just because I like Kansas State's defensive front. He doesn't look like the type of guy that's going to get routed. He looks so comfortable. Remember, this guy has started big-time games. He started games at Indiana. That's where he comes from before this. He's not a freshman or anything. So Taven Jackson is turning into a quarterback I trust, and I just don't think this should be more than a field goal, especially the way Kansas State look. Look, it's the ultimate welcome back Kansas State game, like get your shit together game, but that offense is broken, man. So, yeah, I'm on UCF. I got +6.5. I think it's a field goal game. Mac?
I laid it with K-State, man. This has got to be the spot. Off the bye week, UCF. I don't trust them away from the bounce house. And, yeah, I agree. UCF, I was on UCF last week laying the points. Everybody called me crazy. But people didn't account for Belichick just worried about making sure his girlfriend got over there to Disney World down there in Orlando. So I got K-State, man. I think they're going to come out of the bye week. This is a program that wins 7-8 games every year. 1-3. I think they come out laser focused and put it on UCF.
Rob, break the tie.
I'm going K-State. And yeah, to that point, I'm kind of a masochist along with Mac, where I'm going to keep going back to the well until the buy low point actually becomes that buy low point. And I do think even though Avery Johnson can't throw a forward pass, I like betting on teams with athleticism with their backs against the ropes, who I think are actually well coached. I think we're kind of jumping the ship a little bit on climbing there. But yeah, go ahead and give me Kansas State laying the 5.5. It's not that intimidating of a number if you're thinking that Kansas State can add a couple field goals late, and ultimately that's what I think happens here.
Wow, I'm the only one on Scott Frost. Wow, I would have lost the bet on that one.
You love Scott Frost.
I've become a believer. That was so impressive. Next up, South Alabama, North Texas. Man, speaking of the market losing their mind, guys, I'm a North Texas guy. I've been taking North Texas. Took North Texas against Army. I've been a supporter of this team, a supporter of this proud program. Are we freaking? We're laying 2 touchdowns now. Like, are we kidding with this? South Alabama. I think this line right here is a pretty big reaction to some recent events. South Alabama blows us a halftime lead, loses to Coastal. Terrible, inexcusable, but this line would have been like 6.5 3 weeks ago. Like, this is just crazy. South Alabama, just strictly because this line is out of control. So yeah, I think South Alabama is able to run the ball a little bit in this game. They have a good running back there, Kentrell Bullock. North Texas is awesome, but all of a sudden we're a team that North Texas is the team we laid 2 touchdowns with. Have we lost our mind? Like, this isn't Alabama, guys. It's North Texas. Let's relax. So yeah, I would be South Alabama plus the big number for me. Are either of you guys laying it here?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm on the Jags. I mean, we just saw South Alabama cover at Auburn a couple weeks ago. Like, South Alabama's a battle-tested team. I think this line is way too generous in the North Texas direction. So they took Tulane. They lost what? The same exact number, lost by 2. So yeah, give me the points.
If this was 7 or even 7.5, I could be like, oh, okay. 13. There's a few more key numbers you're crossing over there. Rob, you with us?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. And I kind of view North Texas like those vintage Wazoo teams. And Eric Morris, great passing attack. Love Reese Poffenberger. Love what I think this offense does just in general the rest of the way. But yeah, 13 points is like, I could see it potentially if they keep the pedal to the metal in the final 2 minutes and they're just airing the ball out. But I don't see them getting over that number if this game is just played out in kind of regular time. So yeah, go ahead and give me South Alabama. And that was almost one I pulled the trigger on for a bet there too.
It looks Pinnacle just dropped from 13 to 12. It looks like South Alabama is taking money. Oh, we're moving markets.
Charts.
Yeah, we're moving markets. No, it does look like South Alabama might be taking a little money right now. Next up, Bowling Green, Ohio. I don't get the movement in this one. Ready for this? I'm on Ohio minus 10. That's the bet I have.
Reverse CLV, baby. That means you're a winner.
I don't understand what like the people are. Either you guys on Bowling Green? Maybe you can make sense of it. The money that's coming in on Bowling Green? I'd like to hear a case for it. This defense is terrible.
I think people. I've heard the Bowling Green case. I don't agree with it. Ohio does have some injuries. They're talking about how bad Ohio's defense is. They played 3 Power 5s. I mean, they played at Rutgers, West Virginia, and at Ohio State. So, and they had a little bit of a sleepy spot against Gardner-Webb last week. So, I think this is a smash spot for a veteran group, Navarro and company, versus a first-year head coach and Eddie George, who's still, I think, trying to find their identity.
Yeah, and the Bowling Green defense, I think, is really, really bad. And Ohio, okay, there's some criticism on their defense, and I think the criticism is valid. Maybe it's not the same without Tim Albin, and they lost a lot of their players from last year. So maybe Ohio's defense isn't quite the same from last year. I'm with that. But Bowling Green, dude, that offense isn't very good either. I mean, that game against Louisville, they did not score 17 points. I know the final score says they did. They broke a 75-yarder in the last minute of the game, and then 2 minutes before that, they had a 78-yard drive or something. So they padded on 160 yards and 14 points in garbage time without Louisville. They weren't doing anything in that game. I don't think this team's good, Bowling Green. So, yeah, I'm on Ohio minus 10. Obviously, I got a terrible number. I still think I have a good shot of winning. Rob?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Like, I know that last week, obviously, Toledo went down to Western Michigan, so anything can happen in this frickin' league. But when you are looking at, I think just this game in a vacuum, I really don't buy any Bowling Green angle. It almost kind of feels like one of those dangled bait lines that might cover with some like backdoor BS, but I'm going to go ahead and lay with Ohio. And I think for the most part in this game, it's probably going to be the right side.
By the way, South Alabama down to 11. It's moving on every. There really
Chart.
is a lot of stuff coming in on South Alabama. All right, let's move on to the next one. Utah State, Vanderbilt. I've had enough Vanderbilt, dude. Okay, so the pick is Utah State here, and I haven't bet it, but I do think it's a good bet. First of all, we're priced. This is what Texas A&M was like. We're pricing Vanderbilt like Texas A&M now at Kyle Field. Come on, guys. Let's relax. It's the ultimate look-ahead spot for Vanderbilt. I know people are tired of hearing some shit like that, but they go to Tuscaloosa for the game of the year. Immediately after this, they got this flat little sleepy home spot against Bronco Mendenhall. Utah State might be getting their best defensive player back. He's been suspended, and it's not confirmed that he's back, but he posted on Instagram something. Dude, I'm just repeating. I don't follow his Instagram. I'm repeating what I read. So he posted something on Instagram, and people are thinking that means he's back, and Bronco Mendenhall wouldn't comment on it. So, like, I think they're secretly bringing their star safety back on the field here, Utah State, if you believe in the Instagram voodoo. But yeah, Vanderbilt's got Alabama in Tuscaloosa for the game of the year, right on deck. Utah State's been sneaky good. Bryson Barnes is like the perfect quarterback for Bronco Mendenhall. 22.5. Are you on Bronco Mendenhall here, Mac?
Oh, you know I'm going to buy some Bronco Mendenhall. Yeah, this is a great spot for them. I mean, Vandy didn't have the letdown spot against Georgia State like we thought, but this is going to be the letdown right here because it's also the look-ahead sleepy spot. Pavia, man, I love Pavia, but I like taking Pavia as a dog, and I'm going to be on Vandy next week when they play Alabama. But this is a nice sell spot, getting what 23.5. To your point, this is the same number that they were getting at Texas A&M.
That's what I'm saying. Crazy. Rob, are you a Bronco Mendenhall guy?
I'm a big Bronco Mendenhall guy, and I am taking him here. And I think last week in particular, I laid it with Vandy just because they lost to Georgia State the previous year. It kind of felt like the first game where they could have let their guard down, and I didn't think they were going to let that happen ultimately. And in this type of spot, after that kind of blowout, I think Utah State just inherently has a lot of value there because of how Vanderbilt's winning these last two games. But Georgia State actually moved the ball on Vandy last week, and I think that was kind of lost in the final score. And I think Utah State, Bronco Mendenhall, the pig farmer, I think they're going to be able to kind of get this ball moving, and we're going to see a final score of like 42-21.
All right. Utah State plus the big number. Now we move on to Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, and we're out of the early game, so I have to update the graphics real quick. So 15-second intermission while I update there was too many graphics for the slideshow.
Scoop's on here to talk his shit on our guy Chris Creighton. How about that win for those Eagles?
How about that? The way they bring their best defensive player back, Jermary McNulty, and what do you know? They win a game, and they're going to win another one right here. Spoilers. I got a great number in this one. So I think what was going on in this game, for those listening, by the way, we're talking about Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, and by the way, you're going to see the screen skip two more times here while I update the graphics. So for those listening, we're talking about Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan. I'm on Eastern Michigan plus 6.5. And I think the early action that brought it up to that number was based on the weather. So this is supposed to be nasty weather. It's not going to be that bad. And the reason that favors Central Michigan is Matt Drinkle's an Army guy, slow, physical rushing attack against Eastern Michigan that throws the ball. So nasty weather, it would be really tough for Eastern Michigan. But it doesn't look like the weather's going to be bad at all, in which case Eastern Michigan's going to win this football game. Their best defensive player didn't play the first 3 games of the year. He's back. As soon as he takes the field, they win a game, upset Louisiana. They're going to win this one. It's not like Central Michigan has looked good. I know they grabbed a couple wins, but dude, San Jose State beat themselves in that first one. I think Eastern Michigan's super undervalued based on the fact that they were dealing with injuries. I think that offense can move the ball. Central Michigan, not there yet. I got a great number, but honestly, I think they went outright. So I'm on Eastern Michigan here. You guys with me?
Oh, yeah. I'm on Chris Creighton here. I think they're finding their identity. They're getting healthier. Who's Central Michigan to be laying points? But like this is a rivalry. Chris Creighton as a dog, Maction time. EMU is going to start winning some games here, and I can't wait to rub it in Scoop's face.
Yeah, he is a Creighton hater. Rob, you with us?
I know.
Absolutely. I've been riding Eastern Michigan the last 2 weeks. They've covered the last 2 weeks, and of course they're covering games after they lose to an FCS. And yeah, Chris Creighton is one of those ultimate, like, I'm going to go 6-6. I'm going to go 7-5, and I'm going to win the games that maybe I theoretically shouldn't. And I think this is a game that he should win. This is a crazy line. I also think Noah Kim has been balling out the last couple weeks, and this ground game has been on fire. Go ahead and give me Eastern Michigan. And I took the 6.5 as one of my favorite bets of the weekend. I think the money line, if it was at a better number, would actually be a really good play there too.
Yeah, agreed. And in addition to that, their star receiver there, Porter Rooks, is starting to get involved. He was missed all of last year with an injury. It's been a slow recovery. Yeah, all positive things there with Eastern Michigan. I like it. Arkansas State, Louisiana Monroe. So Arkansas State has beaten and covered against Louisiana Monroe 15 times in a row, which is
crazy.
It's just wild.
Crazy stat.
And I think it's going to be 16, honestly. Either you guys on Louisiana Monroe?
No, I'm on the road.
I did.
You are?
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I took Monroe with the points, and I think in large part this comes down to optics, right? Like Arkansas State just played Iowa State tough, and yeah, I was in their building. Yeah, it was kind of a sleepy spot after the Iowa game for Iowa State, but I think when the national sort of people that bet on games look at that outcome, they're like, heck yeah, give me Arkansas State in a pick 'em, especially with their this kind of slight dog. And ultimately, I think that's kind of what buries them is. Yeah, you just played really well against a team that you got up for. What happens when you play UL Monroe, a team that I think is actually really improving over the last 4 years? Go ahead and give me the Monroe. I think there's a good chance to actually win this game, like going away.
Wow, going away.
Going
away and Louisiana Monroe don't belong in the same sentence. So I think Arkansas State is a little bit undervalued. This team played Arkansas. Then they played Iowa State, who, by the way, they played kind of tough. And then they played. Here's the kicker. I think Kennesaw State, since making the quarterback change, is going to put up points. They brought in. Jerry Mack switched over to Amari Odom at quarterback, and so Amari Odom's mom was the women's basketball coach at NC Central while he was the football coach. He's known Amari Odom since he was 11 years old. So this is the quarterback he wanted, and he switched over to Amari Odom, and the Kennesaw State offense actually looks pretty good. Remember, it's completely different than last year's Kennesaw State offense. They run up tempo. It's very quarterback central. It's kind of a Casey Keeler type of thing. Maybe not the best comparison, but very fast pace. So the reason I said all that is we're looking at last week like, Arkansas State lost on the road to Kennesaw. I wouldn't be surprised if in 4 weeks we look back, and that's not that bad of a data point because Kennesaw is scoring some points. Yeah, Arkansas State, better team. You with it? You're with it, Mac, right?
I'm on the Red Wolves. Disappointing against Kennesaw last week. I think it's a bounce back. They own them in this rivalry. And fun fact, Brian Vincent, the head coach of Monroe, is also the AD at Monroe too. So he's got a lot of distractions here.
Yeah, that's too much. Overwhelmed. Too overwhelmed.
Increased workload.
Next up. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This is it.
Field Storm.
No,
Yep.
absolutely not.
Yep.
You really think Washington's gonna beat them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead.
Those Midwest teams don't win out west. Washington has won every Big Ten game.
That shit doesn't apply to Ohio State, bro.
They're 0-1 going out west.
Minnesota, they're 0-1. They covered.
No, they lost outright as a 3-point favorite against Oregon last year in the regular season.
I thought they were a 3-point dog in that game.
No, they were a 3-point favorite. And this is Julian Saint's first road game. He hasn't started a game on the road. That play, how many times we got to see it with Washington in that building? That place is going to be on fire. I know there's concerns on the defensive side of the football, but I think Ohio State has some question marks too. So I'm going to be on Damon Williams. Give me the better quarterback, more experienced quarterback. Jed Fisher's a dog. Give me these Huskies, baby. Buckeyes are going down today, baby. Storm that field, Washington.
Rob, you agree?
I'm 100% there with Mac. I think this is going to be a field storm, and I think Washington's going to be actually the team that strikes first. It's not going to be kind of the, we'll come back from behind, maybe get a break or two along the way. I think Washington's actually a legitimately good team, and I do think, to Mac's point, they have the better quarterback. What did we see with Ty Simpson when he hit the road at Florida State to start the year? He was very, very shaky in that first half, and although he picked up in the second half, it's too late sometimes when you got an athletic quarterback on the other side doing their thing. I think Julian Saint's going to struggle. I think the ground game for Ohio State, because they're kind of forced in that hand, is going to struggle there too. And I really do think Washington has a chance to kind of make this a definitive winner outright.
Well, I disagree with both of you, but I don't feel strongly enough to like really take a stand. And so I don't think Washington's defense is any good, and I don't think we've seen it tested at all. I think we're really going to see the effects of not having Steve Belichick anymore. Remember, Washington didn't have the strongest defense in the couple years before. They're a very offensively centered team, and they had a pretty strong defense last year, thanks to old Steve Belly. They're missing pieces too. The Buda Al-Agda, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He's one of their leading tacklers. He's out for this game. Their linebacker. Ohio State got off to a rough start offensively, have steamrolled the last two opponents, Ohio and Grambling. Who cares? But honestly, who cares about Washington's entire schedule so far up to this point? I think Washington's defense might not be good. So I think Sain's going to be fine here. I think they're going to run the ball. And look, this is the way I phrased it was the only way Washington keeps this game competitive is if Damon Williams does some NFL superstar type shit, which he's capable of doing. But he's also, up to this point, looking at Damon Williams stuff, he's had over 3 seconds on average to throw. He's had all day to throw in the pocket, and his team's averaging over 6 yards per carry. He is not going to have all day in the pocket, and he's not going to have 6 yards per carry run support in this game. Damon Williams throws a pick six. Ohio State wins and covers.
And let me just push back against the chat because I saw a comment in particular in there that said, how is Washington going to stop Ohio State's wide receivers? Well, probably the same way Ohio did for 3.5 quarters just a week ago. So, yeah, I think like we're jumping the gun on Julian Sayin, just anointing him as a great quarterback the same way we did Arch Manning before he hit the road, and now everybody's out on him. So, yeah, let's pump the brakes, I think, on the Julian Sayin bandwagon here.
I can't wait to see that field get stormed. It's going to be great.
Ohio State by 17. LSU Ole Miss. I don't even like my bet in this one.
What you got?
I want to be clear. I bet this before the Lane Kiffin's daughter tweet and all the everything that went down. Because after everything that went down, I'm like, shit, I don't think Ole Miss is going to lose now. I'm on LSU money line. But it was before all the madness. So what do you guys think about this game?
This is a home team series. I'm not taking Brian Kelly over my guy. I love Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's probably my favorite coach in college football. He don't give a damn, and it's fantastic. So yeah, I think that was a strategically placed tweet, Instagram, whatever it was, to tweet out the star linebacker that they're dating. And then Lane says take the over. So take his word for it, take the over, and take Hottie Toddy here. This has been a home team series, man. I think Ole Miss has the quarterback figured out. Fair State, shout out there. And I think Ole Miss is going to get it done once again against LSU.
Rob, what do you think?
Mac, you need to reflect on what you just said. Take Lane Kiffin at his word?
It's my guy.
Hell no, dude.
I love Lane Kiffin.
No. There's a chance that Ole Miss and LSU both have a shitting the bed on the offensive side of the ball because Trinidad Chambliss looks really fun in that vacuum, but what happens when it goes up against an uber athletic defense rather than Tulane? I think ultimately what kind of happens here is we're expecting points, we're expecting that excitement early, but I kind of like that under, and even the number itself is almost indicative of, hey, there might not be as many points as you actually think here.
Yeah, I would go under as well. I don't care what Lane Kiffin tweeted. I do think LSU's the better team, and I like the way you phrased it when you were talking about Trinidad Chambliss. He looks excellent. He's never seen anything like this defense, and I'm a believer in what LSU's doing defensively. He's had time to throw also, and we're going to see. If he handles the pressure in this game and makes some throws, doesn't put it in harm's way, I'll come out of it saying, hey, this kid's got it. But until he hasn't been put in a situation like that. So he's going to have to prove it. Yeah, I'm on LSU. I don't hate the bet, but it's just with everything that happened, and I don't know. I don't like it as much. When I first saw it, I jumped at LSU. I have it like plus 105 or something, and I was like, oh, they're going to close as short favorites. That's what I thought. But then everything happened, and I'm like, nah, this line's going to stay right where it's at.
Yeah.
Auburn, Texas A&M at Kyle Field. Man, Auburn. What happened last week was just
they got screwed by that whistle. That was a ridiculous officiated game. They gave Oklahoma that game.
I don't know how the overturn their defensive touchdown, which okay, That was like whatever.
Yeah.
They overturn it. Then you have to call that Oklahoma completion at the end of the game incomplete. You have to, because you already made that same call against Auburn. Like, I don't know how you do that. The refs should have been like, yo, dude, we kind of already called this. Like, how is nobody in their ear? Like, come on. Crazy. And then the safety, crazy series of events. So my plan was I had Auburn plus 6.5 last week and the money line. Obviously lost them both. My plan was Auburn's going to play Oklahoma tough, who I don't think is very good, and play Oklahoma tough, maybe even win the game, and then I'm going to hammer Texas A&M coming off the bye right after. That was my plan. Obviously, Auburn ended up losing and not covering, and now we're looking at 7. So the plan was involved Auburn looks really strong, and then I get like a 4 in this one. So my biggest Texas A&M, but the number I'm not laying 7. I think Texas A&M is a head and shoulders better team than Oklahoma. When I say head and shoulders, I mean like 2.5 on a neutral. So I think Texas A&M is better than Oklahoma. What do you guys think?
I agree. I laid it. I don't really love it if once you get to 7, but the situational spots got to favor A&M. They're off a bye. You got Auburn, back-to-back road spots, emotional game with Jackson Arnold, revenge game at Oklahoma. They've already – this is the 3rd road game in 5 weeks, so you're getting the more rested team. And I think Elko's going to get that defense fix here.
Rob, you with us?
It's kind of interesting because is Mike Elko just like the Dave Aranda of the SEC, a defensive-minded guy who can't play defense? Like, I don't even know what to think anymore. And 52, yeah, this might look really, really dumb if Texas A&M does fix the defensive side of the ball, but go ahead and give me the over. I think both teams could contribute to this total, and I think A&M and Auburn, I don't really feel good about a touchdown number, so yeah, go ahead and give me that over there.
I agree with an over, by the way. All right, next game up. So for those of you who don't know, Rob, you were saying you're 20 minutes from the stadium in Iowa?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
20 minutes. I'll be at the game, and I'm pumped about it.
Another field storm here.
Are you going to be? Are you going to be storming the field in this one?
I think so, man. And I think the number's telling you, right? When there's a 53-point win margin over a top 10 team, and the very next week you're going on the road for the first time, laying just a square touchdown. Oh my gosh. Yeah, go ahead and lay that number. It's super layout. Iowa doesn't have offense, right? No, I think we're going to see Phil Parker at his absolute best. We're going to see a masterclass type performance. Last time Indiana came in here with an offense and they had Michael Penix, they threw about 4 interceptions. And I think right now Iowa's defense is chomping at the bit to make Fernando Mendoza kind of bring him back to earth a little bit. So yeah, go ahead and give me Iowa and give me the under in this spot.
I couldn't disagree at all. Mac, you with him?
Yeah, I was going to win the game outright. How many times do we got to watch this over the time in history? Weird things happen at Kinnick, man. That there's some voodoo in that building. Signetti, first trip there. Signetti, you notice, has not chirped all week because he knows it. He knows the Hoosiers are on an upset alert here. I know they looked great last weekend, but that was at home. Now you're hitting the road. Expected to drill a team in Iowa. Iowa has 1 loss this year in Ames by a field goal, and everybody acts like Iowa's horrible. Iowa's good. Iowa is actually a college football playoff contender, in my opinion. So, and I think they get it going here. Iowa wins the game outright. Go Hawkeyes. Let's go, Rob. Don't
disagree at all. Definitely Iowa. I haven't bet it yet. I'm going to. I might take the money line too. Guys, Indiana, Signetti's loud, and they put the exclamation point on every single game where they draw the headlines, and everyone's like, oh, Indiana's so good because they beat up on bad teams by 75 points. And they are very strong. Dude, teams don't go into Kinnick and win by more than a touchdown. That doesn't happen. You have to go back to 4 years ago. Michigan did. That was the Michigan team that went 13-0, won the Big Ten with J.J. McCarthy. That was the last time Iowa's lost by more than a touchdown in Kinnick. And this Indiana team, because they're what they did last year and this year, it's kind of like in our heads, like, oh, they're just beating these Big Ten teams. They're beating the shit out of them. They didn't play a ton of upper echelon Big Ten teams last year. In fact, if you want to take Iowa's defense in Kinnick and compare it, the only 2 defenses that Indiana saw last year that I would put on Iowa's home defense level, Notre Dame and Ohio State. They shit the bed in both those games. Those were their 2 losses. I think Iowa can win this game too. Where I had trouble when I was going through this game, I was trying to find paths to Iowa's offense moving the ball in Indiana, and I was like, I can't see it. So I agree with an under as well. I don't know how you lay more than a touchdown in Kinnick. I honestly, and look, I'm not naive enough to be like, oh, I'm 6 points sharper than the market, but I would have this game 3.5. Honestly, 3 maybe. You don't lay more than a touchdown in Kinnick.
They're going to treat it like Michigan and Ohio State with this number. This is ridiculous. That's Ohio State how they did in Kinnick last time they went there with who was the quarterback? Was it Haskins, Rob?
Wait, are you talking about for Ohio State? No, that was JT Barrett.
JT Barrett, yeah, they got boat race. Iowa put up 55 on the Buckeyes last time they went there. Weird things happen in that building. Penn State too, like it's weird.
Yeah, lay more than a touchdown in Kinnick's crazy.
Yeah,
and to both of your guys' points, had Iowa beaten Iowa State in Ames, this number is probably 2.5, 3.5, and if not, if just straight pick them. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different perceptions going against Iowa that aren't really based in reality. And 8.5, go ahead and smash that. I think that's a hammer play.
Rob, are you a Nico guy?
How's Nico's record this year, Kyle?
That's an L I have to hold. Well, I want to be clear though. It wasn't necessarily that I was like a Nico fan. I was just pointing out the fact that college football heads hate Nico, so they're acting like Joey Aguilar. I was pointing more. I wasn't really necessarily saying Nico was awesome. Yeah, but oh my God, this is bad. So is there a boost here? Do we see a different version of UCLA? I think UCLA should keep this within a field goal. I couldn't bring myself to bet it, but Northwestern doesn't look any good. I was thinking maybe like a boost here. I don't know. I'm all ears. You guys have anything for this one?
Hey, I'm in a giving mood, man. I'm back in Morgantown. I'm on my college tour. I picked Pitt. I'm trying to help them out. I'm going to try and help out Nico here. Give me UCLA and the points. Who's Northwestern to be laying a touchdown in a freaking Big Ten game? They're terrible too. I think you get the 1 game bump here. And I know I bust Nico's balls all the time, but he's not horrible. He's just not as good as the money that was demanding. So I think UCLA is the better roster. Getting 6 points, I'll take the points with the Bruins.
Yeah, I think Nico's about as talented as any player in college football. Where I actually agree with the college football heads is he's getting what he deserves. Like, okay, you want the money? Okay, you want to take a stance, make a business decision? Hey, I make plenty of business decisions. Not even hating on that. You have to live with the consequences, though. So I do think, like, the karma is correct. I just don't – what I was arguing with was pretending that Nico is so much better so it helps your stance. That's what I was arguing with. So, Rob, UCLA plus 6, you with us?
Dude, I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole. And to your point, like – I will say, yeah, Nico is like extremely talented. Like if you put that sort of consistency together with him, all of a sudden I think he's the best quarterback in football just because of the velocity he throws with, the athleticism. Like that's legit. But yeah, UCLA is a shit show. Northwestern's a shit show. You could drop 10 different scenarios here, and I think all of them could be right. So yeah, staying away, but I'll take the points.
There you go. Let's put a UCLA up look for the screenshot later.
Yeah.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins. No, I'm not going to be adding that one. I am going to be adding Iowa, though. I'm going to be betting Iowa.
For sure. Absolutely.
Cal Boston College. Hold on. There's a... I don't remember what it was. So I was leading Boston College. There's 3 starters questionable on the Boston College defense, and that's why I don't actually have the bet. It really comes down to what you think of Sagbatula, the quarterback for Cal. Sorry. Really comes down to what you think of him. If you think he's for real, maybe you take the plus 6. But honestly, Mac, you gassed up Wilcox and Cal way too much. He looked awesome, but it came crashing back down to earth, and they don't have a run game at all, just like they didn't have a run game last year. Boston College always plays tougher defense at home. I'm always down to trust that Boston College defensive front at home, even if I don't necessarily even think it's a great defense. So I don't think they're going to have run support. Maybe that quarterback is a superstar, but Lonergan can sling it. I think it's Boston College by north of a touchdown here. That Stanford data point is a bunch of bullshit. It was a terrible spot. They were missing starters on the defensive side. We all picked Stanford back, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just like a bullshit game for Boston College, and this is a perfect time to buy low. It's Boston College by more than a touchdown here. You guys with me?
Of course I remember. I threw Cal and Stanford in a parlay with West Virginia. I didn't even remember placing it and won $5,000 that night. That was a nice night. That was a backyard brawl degenerate play there. Pac-12 after dark. Yeah, I mean I was on San Diego State with you last week. I Cal like 14. I was like timeout. I like this young quarterback, but this is ridiculous. I'm conflicted here because I want to take Cal in a bounce back spot. I like Wilcox as a dog again after they just got completely embarrassed. But I hate taking the West Coast team going East Coast. You got Boston College off a bye. I'll take the points. BC wins by.
That's a bad pick. I'm telling you, this is Boston College by 10. Rob, you're with me, right?
You know, I think the numbers inherently inflated because of a 34-0 loss last week, and I'm with you in the sense that I would be picking Boston College gun to my head, but I don't have a lot of conviction behind it because California, they got to play better. I mean, in some capacity, you can't play worse. So, yeah, I'm probably taking or laying the points of Boston College, but don't love it.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, maybe a little inflated because Cal just got their shit slapped, but. I honestly think because Boston College and the Stanford also might be a little bit of undervalued on that side as well. So I think you can kind of say that for both sides, in my opinion. But yeah,
but a little bit.
Let's move on. Mac, what are your thoughts? Mac, what are your
I hope Baylor wins by 90.
So there's no one game boost here.
No, there's no one game boost when you run off your coach at the all-time winningest coach. He played there, and here's what nobody's talking about: Oklahoma State's on their backup quarterback. Like the fact that they fired him midseason is a complete clown show. Yeah, go Baylor, run it up Baylor, and yeah, I'm a man. I'm 40. Sick 'em. Let's go.
So I listened to you guys talk on the college experience. I listened to you guys talk about this, and yeah, he's the all-time winningest coach in Oklahoma State history. Been there for 20 years, played there. And you fire him midseason. Of course, I agree with all of that. Is there? What I was asking, is there another side to the argument? Like, is there a legitimate reason for firing midseason, like recruiting or something? I'm trying to understand. I don't know. Because I'm a pretty objective person, and I like to try to understand both sides. And I don't even know what the counter argument is. Why? What was the point? I don't even get it.
I think the point would be if they hire a guy who's not currently coaching somewhere like Ed Orgeron or John Gruden, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, they wanted to get a head start on recruiting. But if they're rocking with an interim guy that they promote from within, there's really no benefit other than just a spit in the face to Mike Gundy.
Yeah,
it's just not how you treat one of your own that played there and is all-time winningest coach. Like I get the argument at the end of the year, move on from Gundy. It got a little flat, a little stale, but you don't show him up and fire him while he has his backup quarterback. Like, what did anybody think they were going to win at Oregon? I mean, what are we talking about here? I know the Tulsa game was disappointing, but the other loss was Oregon on the road, a top 5 team.
Yeah. Robbie, would you lay the big number with Baylor?
Yeah, but I will say if Dave Aranda gives up points to this offense, we gotta start having a discussion because what in the world, dude? Yeah. But yeah, I think the under and I think Baylor are the two plays I'm looking at here.
You know what's crazy is if Gundy didn't get fired, I would probably take Oklahoma State money line coming off the Tulsa loss here. This would be the game he'd win, right?
This would be the I'm a man, I'm 40 spot.
Yeah.
He always has like one of those a year. And I see the chat. NIL did ruin Oklahoma State. When Boone Pickens passed away, that money's not coming in Stillwater like it used to. Oh, this is a smash spot right here, by the way.
I'm all ears. All right, will you be in attendance, Mac?
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to the suites here today because I want to watch all these other 3:30 games. So I will not be in the trenches as much today. I don't see how you can lay 12.5 with Utah on the road. Third road game in 5 spots, third different time zone in 5 spots. Dampierre's still banged up, although Whittingham won't tell us or give us any injury updates because that's what Whittingham does. This is going to be the total tells you 47.5. This is going to be a rock fight. The ears are good at home, man. The Mountaineers have always been good at home. So, give me my Mountaineers. Let's go. Country Road. Cheers, beers, go Ears.
You with them, Rob?
I'm with him in the sense of, hey, he said it's a rock fight. I think he's 100% right, where this is going to be lived in the mud. I love a 47.5 number. Wish it was at 48.5, but I'm still taking the under because we don't know how Dampier's going to look. We know how West Virginia at the quarterback spot is going to look, and it's not looking good. So, yeah.
I agree with everything Rob just said. I think we're learning that maybe this Beck Dampier explosion works a lot better in the Mountain West than the Big 12. So Texas Tech just bullied Utah. We all watched it. It was one of the best games of the week. Well, one of the biggest games of the week, I should say. And now we're talking about back-to-back weeks. It was 3-0 in Laramie the week before that. So this Utah offense, maybe not as dynamic and explosive as we thought. And if there's one aspect of West Virginia you trust right now, it's their defense at home. What they did to Pitt, their offense is a next level trash. Like, it's the worst thing ever. And now Nico might not even play, right?
Nico's out for the year.
Oh, he's out for the year?
Yeah, Henderson's getting the nod, and then we might go to
Don't take the plus 12.5, dude. Your offense is so bad.
It's gonna be 14.
We're gonna win this game 13-10 just because we're gonna drag it in the mud. It's Morgantown mud, baby.
Utah is gonna win and cover this game 14-0.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We need to look into how we scored 31 against Pitt. Pitt should they should be investigated because this offense is horrible. But that's what happens when you're tough.
So I took the over.
You find a way.
I took the Louisville Pitt over. That's my whole reasoning.
Well, hold on. West Virginia wasn't really moving the ball in that game. That was a weird ass game where the crowd's energy added 10 points to the final score.
I single-handedly won that game. I was like, we're not losing this game to these jabronis. We're gonna find a way.
Yeah, that was
Kyle. At the same time, though, if you started West Virginia at the 20-yard line against Utah throughout the entire game, I don't think they score 2 touchdowns.
I don't know if they score 1. That offense is terrible. And then you take Nico out. Is it Jalen
Henderson? Yeah, Henderson's getting the nod, and then Scotty Fox and Jaheel Watkins are in the wing. So yeah, it might be 3 quarterbacks again for Rich Rod today.
Oh, Scotty Fox is in the wing? I didn't know. Maybe I will bet West Virginia. Scotty Fox is in the wing.
Scotty Fox, baby. He's the next big thing. Hey, I trust Rich Rod. He'll get the offense right eventually. It's taking a while though.
This next one, I think this is a disrespectful line. Guys, that was a really sleepy spot against Ball State last week for UConn. Coming off back-to-back heartbreaking losses against regional teams in Syracuse and Delaware. And then you play Ball State. Actually, UConn's joining the MAC, so maybe that's a little bit, maybe not that flat of a spot. But coming off back-to-back games they should have won that they found ways to lose, and then they played a bad Ball State team. I don't really care about that. This should be a Taquan Roberson revenge game, but he's not playing. I don't know. Has he officially been ruled out? I think
he's out.
Yeah. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, Roberson's the quarterback for Buffalo. He was originally from UConn. So UConn's old quarterback is Buffalo's current quarterback, but he's not even playing. And this Buffalo offense was getting no production from the quarterback position. It's been a disappointment. UConn has a passing attack that I trust, and I hate Buffalo's secondary. This is a disrespectful line. This should be 6. UConn.
I'm going to co-sign. I bet UConn. I think they're better than their record. I mean, if you remember that Syracuse game, they led for the entire game until Syracuse stole the game in overtime. So UConn's had a couple tough road spots. I think they finally get it done on the road today. Give me Jim Moore and company.
You with us, Rob?
I'm actually going to go Buffalo here, and it's not because I think they're a good team or I think that UConn's a bad team, but I think this is more going to be a game that's kind of lived within the field goal margins of scoring, and 3.5 is enough of a kind of that hook of a cushion or that flat number 3 where I do want to just take the points in the game that I think could turn into a little bit of a slowdown from what we've seen so far.
The only reason I don't have this bet, I might add this. The reason I was held off is Roberson. I don't think very highly of him, and I actually don't know much about the backup. So part of me is like, what if the backup's better? that's my hesitation because Roberson's not good. He doesn't offer much in terms of a passing attack.
How that happens so much in college football where the coach just plays the wrong quarterback.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That doesn't happen in the NFL. In college, it's like a 50-50 shot, it's like, oh, the backup's actually better. He's just not playing right now.
Well, I also think in college there's an element to dude, in the NFL, everybody knows everybody about every single player. It's like they have film on every single backup quarterback, where in college football, you bring in the backup quarterback, the other team might not even have like the best indication on like the type of quarterback. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I
think you're right.
San Diego State's way better than Northern Illinois. Way better. I can't unsee what happened to me when I bet San Diego State against in Pullman, dude. They got smoked, and all I needed was that game to have a winning day. It was like a 10:30 start, and I was like, all I need is San Diego State +3, closes at 1. I'm good, winning day. No, they got crushed, and so I'm a little bit worried that I can't trust the San Diego State offense on the road. And the truth is, the offense hasn't looked all that great. Defense looks great though. San Diego State and under. This is another one that I may add. Any reason to get to Northern Illinois here?
Yeah, I'm on him. I'm on the boneyard, man. I'm not laying points with Sean Lewis and San Diego State hitting the road here. I don't think Northern Illinois is as bad as everybody's making it out to be. They were competitive at Maryland. I thought last week at Mississippi State they actually were competitive until the wheels fell off in the fourth quarter. So yeah, give me Northern Illinois is going to beat them. I trust the culture of this program. Hammond as a dog. We've seen it year after year, and this is a letdown spot for San Diego State.
By the way, Lousiville Pitt is now down to 3. So it looks like Pitt took some more money. Rob?
Is Pitt going to be the fake sharp play of the day?
I hope not.
I'm thinking so.
I can't wait to shit on them if they are.
But no, in this game, I'm looking at the under. I think, again, if you're thinking that Northern Illinois is going to have the ability to win this game after how San Diego State looked last week, it's going to be on the ground. It's going to be with the clock moving. And I think San Diego State's defense, to your point, Kyle, was kind of the reason why that score ballooned up. It wasn't the offense looking great. It was the defense making turnovers and just shutting down Cal in general. So, yeah, 43, it's a low number, but I think this is a game that kind of lives in that total of like 38 or something like that.
I agree with the under, definitely. I think Northern Illinois, the culture, or the Northern Illinois is terrible, Mac.
The boneyard, baby. Let's go.
That might be the worst offense in the country.
Hey, this game's a great game, by the way.
Yeah, I'm all ears here because I don't have a bet, and I don't. Man, these option teams are tough. I feel like because I'm a spreadsheet nerd, and like the options never make sense in the spreadsheet. I'm always like, is this offense bad? But it's like not bad. So I'm all ears. What are you guys doing here?
I mean, I always take the points when it's option versus option here. Yeah, this is where football was made, baby. Triple option versus triple option. It's a look-ahead spot for Navy. They got Air Force on deck. The Commander-in-Chief trophy is a big thing for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. So Rice is pretty good. Scotty Abel's doing a good job in year one. I think 2 touchdowns is too much. Give me Navy by a touchdown to 10 points.
Yeah, Rice has been playing some good defense, too. Yeah. Are you with him, Rob?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Didn't love it enough to bet it, but I think Rice getting spotted 2 touchdowns is like right where I'm thinking, okay, we're pushing the envelope a little bit too far. I think Navy is going to be in control of this game, but not by that kind of margin.
Yeah, I'm putting Rice plus 14 up, but I really don't know. These option teams are so tough. I will say, I thought Rice's defense was going to fall off from last year, and it didn't. They're playing some strong defense. It's the offense I don't trust.
I feel like you're coming along on the option train.
No, I'm not, dude.
We're going to get you
That
there.
Offense sucks, dude. Never.
Hey, you start talking triple option, Colby and I just get rock hard. Triple option.
I hate those takes. The option offense sucks. Football in the rain is trash. I don't mind the snow.
Lightning delays.
No, I'm not with that. I don't even know what that is. But no, the football in the rain is trash. The idea of it is cool, and then the actual game sucks. Like, why am I watching this? This is garbage. Like, I feel like I'm watching a high school game. There was a Thursday night football game between the Patriots and Bills in the rain. They ran 68 offensive plays. 65 of them were trap power ISO. Like, dude, what am I watching? Like, this is terrible. This is high school football.
In my veins.
This is terrible.
That's just another Saturday in Iowa.
Yeah,
exactly right.
It's another Saturday of turning my TV to another channel. New Mexico State, New Mexico. I put this on there for you guys. The rivalry game. I don't have a ton of interest in it. Apparently, Eck is it Entz or Eck?
Eck.
This is Eck. Where's Entz?
Entz is at Fresno.
At Fresno, right. Okay, so, yeah. So,
Eck-
apparently Eck is looking like a pretty solid coach, and this team looks pretty good. So, do you think the 15 is warranted?
I'm going to take the points. This is a bitter rival. They hate each other. I mean, this is the Diego Pavia piss on everybody game. He pissed on the New Mexico logo. This is where it came from, this game, because New Mexico didn't offer him. I don't like New Mexico State, but I'm always going to take the dog in this rivalry. Yeah, I mean, everybody that doesn't know about Eck, he's going to be the next Wisconsin coach. He played there. He played offensive line there. He's doing an unbelievable job at New Mexico after he did a great job at Idaho.
Honestly, and from what I'm not a big FCS guy, but when he took the job, I did a bunch of reading about him to do an off-season video. He seems like a Wisconsin coach, like, and his kid is like the inside linebacker, like a tough inside. I'm like, this is a Wisconsin brand guy here. Do you agree with him, Rob?
Yeah, anytime you can find offense in the state of Idaho, like you're doing something right. And I think, Jason Eck is a fantastic coach. I think we're getting to a point with New Mexico lines because of that blowout over UCLA still lingering there, that they're inflated just inherently. And so I am going to take the points, but I think New Mexico, again, this is a game that they control from the outset. And it's just a matter of garbage time. Does New Mexico State get a score?
Honestly, I'm not even putting a pick up because I really don't know. It's a rivalry game, so I added it to the list. Next up. Oh, no, not yet. I have a bet in the Tennessee game.
This is a blowout here.
Yeah. Wait, you're talking Air Force, right?
Yeah. This is a smash spot. Hawaii's playing their 6th game in 6 weeks. Air Force off that. I mean, Kyle, we got screwed on that Air Force line last week. I can't believe they didn't cover that game when Boise ran that ball in from 50 yards out at the end of the game. Air Force is pretty good. And Alajado's banged up again. He's always injured. So, yeah, Air Force blowout.
Rob?
Yeah, that was what kind of put me over as well. I was thinking about the actual over 52, but I'm just going to take Air Force, lay the number. I think that's an efficient offense under Troy Calhoun that's just been absolutely humming. And yeah, to Mac's point, I don't know if Hawaii has the passing attack to actually live up in this game to keep it within that margin.
Yeah, I'm putting Air Force up to me, too. It was I wrote Air Force or pass. I don't have a ton of interest in that one. Here we go. Air Force across the board, and the chat agrees with Air Force. Next game is Kirk Francis ever going to play? He's been in the concussion protocol for 6 months now. What the hell? I really could have used him for my over last week, although the way Oklahoma State played, I don't think that was hitting regardless. But I really think the Tulsa offense is going to look different with Kirk Francis in there. I think we're going to see Trey Lamb promised us an air raid. He said it during fall camp. He's air raid this year. And then he hasn't had his quarterback, so we haven't seen it. Let me Google, see if Kirk Francis has any updates on that. How are you in the concussion protocol for 4 weeks? I thought that was like a 2 to 3 week thing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the news cycle for college football injuries is ridiculous. I can't keep up. It's just
nothing.
I mean, how do you lay 15 with Tulane? I feel like this is a crazy line.
I said over if Kirk Francis plays. That was my pick, and that's what I'll put up. But we don't have to spend a ton of time on.
Give me Tulsa. I don't have a strong. I although the line kind of feels like it's telling you to take Tulane in smash spot, but I'll dive into the stink here. Give me Tulsa.
Rob,
I'm gonna lay with Tulane again. Don't have a lot of conviction here, but I do think if you're a believer in bounce backs and just Tulane wanting to get back in the G5 mix, it's got to be a statement type game. And Tulsa offensively last week, they didn't look good. It was just that Oklahoma State looked a lot worse. So, go ahead and give me Tulane here.
Let's move on to the next game. And I have a bet in this game, and I kind of did a flip-flop from earlier in the week, which I try not to do because the viewers don't like it. But my pick has changed from when I talked about this game earlier in the week, and I bet it. You guys go first. What do you guys like?
Well, the line has moved. So, would you take Hail State with the 9.5?
Tennessee, it's flat 7.
I'm all over Hail State, man. Listen, I talked up Aguilar in the preseason just because I wanted to stick it to Nico. But I'm not going to lay 7 points with Aguilar on the road here. I know they're off a bye game, but I like this Jeff Lebby offense year 2. I've been riding Mississippi State. They already hit their win total over for the year in week 4. Yeah, give me Hail State. That place is going to be rocking, man. I think they're live to win the game outright.
I said that originally, but then the more I was looking at it, that Arizona State game, that was a huge revenge game for Mississippi State. We were all on Mississippi State on the show, plus the 7, plus the 6.5, plus money line. We were all on it. Man, the truth is, they came out, scored early. Arizona State dominated most of the game. They were in control. They were averaging over 5 yards per carry. They were doing whatever they wanted. And then Mississippi State got the ball back at the end and scored a game-winning touchdown. But if you really look at that game against Arizona State, place was going crazy, cowbells. Arizona State was in control more often than not. I think Tennessee's going to score in every possession. I think the Mississippi State defensive numbers are fraudulent. So originally I had said Mississippi State or over. I've switched to Tennessee or over and actually bet Tennessee at a flat 7. So I'm in on this one. I'm on Joey bitch-ass Aguilar, man. Rob?
Well, the tables
I
are
will
turned
say,
here.
I know, I hate it.
But I will say, when you're watching that Mississippi State Arizona State game, it was Mississippi State's defense that won it for them in the end, right? Because that 3 stop at the goal line at the 1 yard line at the end of kind of that last position for Arizona State was impressive. And this Mississippi State front, I think, is one of the more athletic in the SEC. That's how much investment has kind of gone in there, and how I think that side of the ball is not getting talked about, but probably should be getting talked about. And so, yeah, when you're looking at Tennessee, I don't know what their identity is other than just airing it out. And I feel like if you're going to be kind of going fire on fire here, go ahead and give me the home team getting a better number. So yeah, I'm taking Mississippi State with the plus 7.5, and I think there's a chance they win this thing outright.
We got Jay Sternberger in the comments. Says Kyle's fading everything I said Wednesday. Yeah, I that's who I was on with when we all took Mississippi State. So I've turned the tables, and I actually bet Tennessee at a flat 7.
You need some more cowbell, Kyle.
Yeah,
you need some more cowbell.
Maybe I need another coffee or something. Arizona, Iowa State. Man, this is a really tough one because Arizona's defense was really impressive in the Kansas State game, but also, do we throw people parades for shutting down Kansas State's offense anymore? Because shit, Army did it. Like, maybe it's not even that much of an accomplishment. But Arizona's defense looks strong, and Iowa State obviously looks excellent with Matt Campbell, but the offense, it doesn't look that explosive. It's tough in terms of a side. I think if it's under 6, it would be Iowa State, but I think the better bet is under. I don't know. I think this total is a few points too. I would make this like 45.5. So I'm surprised this one hasn't come down, but I'll put up under. As far as a side, I would lean Iowa State. What do you guys think?
I'm taking Arizona. I think this is a rock fight. I think this is a field goal game, and I don't like laying points with Matt Campbell. Like Matt Campbell wins close games. That's what he does because they're always well coached. And this just it feels like Fafita, Rocco Beck, 2 really good quarterbacks. I think a game goes back and forth. And I'm going to take the points here. Give me Iowa State to win by a field goal. I think this is going to be a fun game. This is 2 well-coached teams. Everybody was counting out Brennan after year 1. He didn't walk into the best situation in the trenches. So I think he's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, because Jed Fish took the whole freaking roster with him.
Washington, yeah.
So I'm actually switching to Iowa State because it'll make for a funnier screenshot when Matt Campbell covers and Mac loses to Matt Campbell for like the 13th time this year.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Matt Campbell's only 2-2 ATS this year, so I'm 2-2 going against Matt Campbell. And I love Iowa State and I love Matt Campbell, but I pick against him every week.
Shit. Rob's from Iowa. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, no, Iowa State's definitely changed their offensive identity this year because they can't live through Knoll and Higgins anymore, right? And those were downfield threats who are averaging 20 yards a chunk. Now it's all going to their two really good tight ends. It's going to Caleb Hansen. It's going to Abu Sama. I think, to Mac's point, this is not a game that's decided by touchdowns. It's decided by field goals. And with a 5.5 or a 5 type line, it's a hard press kind of thing to say, hey, go ahead and lay that number and feel good about it. So go ahead and give me Arizona. I think they're going to cover, but end up losing this game.
Yeah, I want to be clear. At above a field goal, I completely understand what these guys are saying. So my pick would actually be under if you're looking for like a bet. But I'd rather have Matt Campbell beat Mac again. It's just too funny. Virginia Tech, NC State. Come on. 9.5. NC State can't stop. This is ridiculous. I get it. Virginia Tech's in shambles. Who knows what's going on with that program? But NC State doesn't look good. The defense, I don't know if it's so. What I've been saying is NC State's not the same without Tony Gibson at defensive coordinator. I don't know if that's actually why. That's like my guess of what it is. Remember, Tony Gibson's now the head coach at Marshall, and he's been there the last 5 or 6 years, and he leaves, and that defense doesn't seem to have the same identity. But again, I don't know if that's exactly why. I don't. NC State's defense isn't good enough to lay this number. You guys agree with that?
Yes, I think Virginia Tech's better coach now that Pry's not there. I think Virginia Tech's alive here. I actually think Virginia Tech's a good roster, even though I can't stand them. But I just NC State. Who are they to be laying almost double digits in a conference game at home? Their defense is up and down. Yeah, give me the Hokies here in the points.
Completely agree, and I think this is one I'm going to add. Virginia Tech. This is how is this above a touch? This is nuts. Rob, you with us?
I'm actually loving the over here. And to Mac's point, we have flipped the narrative so fast on Kyron Drones from he's going to win potentially the Heisman Trophy to, everything about this team sucks, right? It's been a 4-week little cycle here. And I do think Kyron Drones is actually really good. I think Virginia Tech is going to put up numbers. And on the other side, CJ Bailey, Hollywood Smothers, two guys who I think are a great 1-2 punch. Go ahead and give me that over. I think we're seeing something in the 40-40 type range here. Not a 27-28.
Yeah, I feel like every single NC State game is like a blind over.
They don't have a defense.
Yeah, they don't have a defense, and they're an explosive play machine. Jacksonville State Southern Miss. Not sure why I included this game. Also, wait. This is wrong. So this isn't even supposed to be there. Let's skip it because it says plus 3.5 for both of them. Are these teams even playing? Yeah. I don't know why this says.
Give me Southern Miss.
Yeah, I don't even have graphics for it. So we're skipping to the next one. That was a mistake. Oh, shit. It's showtime.
Oh, this is a game.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about this one. So, yeah, Big Ten championship rematch. Look, I really – it's very clear that there's influential money buying Penn State at the flat 3. Because every time it comes back to 3, it goes right back to 3.5. So very clearly, there are people that have more influence than me, that have more money than me, that are sharper than me, betting Penn State at 3. I don't know how you lay more than a field goal in this game. Look, this is a very strong Penn State team, and maybe Oregon's not quite the same. But if you've watched Penn State over the years, how do you lay more than a field goal in this game? Even if you're like, this Penn State team's different. All right, are they different? You're going to lay more than 3? Even if they win it, I think it's by 3. So I don't know how you lay more than 3 in this game. I'm on Oregon plus 3.5. I honestly think Oregon wins, if I'm being honest. But
woo, in the whiteout?
Like no one's ever won in the whiteout before. Go ahead, Matt.
Not A. If it was Big Noon, maybe I'd be tempted. Penn State's going to blow them out. This is going to be a blowout. Me? Penn State's going to drill them. They're going to run the ball right down their throats. Penn State has been super vanilla, and they treated the first 3 games like a preseason, just like Michigan, Ohio State did the last 2 years. Penn State's going to open it up here with Colt Tanicki, Drew Aller, those 2 running backs. Oregon is so overrated. They haven't beaten a team that has an FBS win yet. Everybody's crowning Oregon. Dante Moore hitting the road.
What the hell's Penn State done?
They treated that like a preseason, but nobody's crowning Penn State. Penn State's going to drill.
They're laying 3.5 to Oregon. What do you mean no one's crowning them? They're laying more than a field goal in this game.
And nobody's betting Penn State but me. Yeah, Penn State blowout. Let's go. Whiteout. We are Penn State.
Rob, you're with me, right?
I am with you in terms of the side, but I love the under a lot more just because I think Oregon and Penn State, when they're playing other teams, chunk off those big plays. When they're playing together in this little vacuum spot in a whiteout in prime time, I think it's going to be lived on the ground. So, yeah, give me the under 52.5. Also, give me the Ducks with the points. But also, shout out to Raul in the chat because he is getting a shitstorm his way and it's just cracking me up.
Oh, yeah, that's Raul. He's usually in the middle of a scuffle in there. So, I agree with the under, by the way. I said Oregon and under, so I would that. I'm willing to bet that if you hooked Mac up to a lie detector test right now, he would say that he doesn't believe this is a good pick. I think he's doing it for clicks right now. I don't think he really
this is a great spot.
You think
for
Penn State's going to drill Oregon in a huge Big Ten game? James Franklin.
They're going to be – all right. They're going to win by 14. Penn State.
So ladder it to 13.5.
34-20. 34-20. Actually, I like the under, so not 34-20. Let's go 31-17. We are Penn State.
Oh yeah, they're holding Oregon to 17.
They're off a bye week. They're off a bye week. This should be smashed by.
Weren't they off a bye week against Ohio State last year? Pretty sure they were.
They can't beat Ohio State.
They
that's
can't
the
beat
one
Oregon
game
either. Oh my
They've
god,
only lost
this is
once.
this is a bad pick.
You're going to be like, I can't believe. Everybody in the chat's going to be like, I can't believe I thought Oregon was going to go in that whiteout. This is going to be a blowout. Let's go Penn State.
What's in that mug, dude? All right.
Moonshine.
Alabama, Georgia. So yeah, I'm gonna make picks and I'm gonna bet this game, but honestly, this number's like perfect at 2.5. There's just like, if you're on Alabama or Oregon, I feel like you could make such a strong case. On one side, how do you expect Georgia to make stops here? Ty Simpson looks excellent. Got that first game out of his way. He looks great. That offense looks like it might be even stronger than the offense with Milroe last year. The same offense that pieced Georgia up bad. DeBoer pieced Georgia up bad. Alabama owns Georgia. Kirby Smart always struggles with Alabama. How can you trust them to make stops? On this side. On the other side, Kirby Smart has won 713 home games in a row. It's actually 33 if we're taking the exaggeration. So, like, if you're on Alabama or Georgia, I completely understand. I think my pick for the game is Alabama and over, but this is not. I think Oregon plus 3.5 is a good bet because it should be 2.5. This one, I mean, I think this number is pretty good, and I completely understand if you're on the other side. I'm probably going to bet Alabama and over, but just doing some gambling. What do you guys think?
You know, in the preseason, I took Georgia. I'm going against my preseason pick. I'm taking the Tide here. We kind of see this in the new era of the college football playoff, where you kind of get the desperate team that's got to have the game to stay in playoff contention. Georgia can lose this game and still get to the playoff. I know Georgia's chomping at the bit to finally beat Alabama. You laid it out. Kirby has, for whatever reason, not beaten Alabama. I guess I know the reason, Nick Saban. But I just think Alabama is not as bad as we're making it out to be. DeBoer is great as an underdog coach. He's 5-0. ATS straight up against Kirby, Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian. He's bad as a big favorite. That's why we faded him week 1. I'm taking the Tide here. I think they're going to go into Georgia and end that long winning streak. Roll Tide, roll.
Did you just put Steve Sarkisian's name in Kirby Smart in with Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning? Aren't you like the biggest Sark hater in the world?
Yeah, you know what? I should be shot right now.
You know what? He is one of the best play callers we've ever seen. So
I hate when you tweet that.
That's why I keep doing it. Rob.
Yeah, I'm going to take Bama with the points, and I feel like it's such a bait line to take Georgia because it's like, oh, you know, Georgia at home, they're going to win the game. Alabama's already shown they can lose, and we just saw Georgia beat Tennessee. And I feel like all those things hold their own weight to a point, but Georgia's defense hasn't looked impressive over the last couple years, to be honest, in terms of kind of relative where they were, you know, when they had a bunch of NFL players running around out there. And I do think the transfer portal, I do think NIL has probably played a factor in kind of limiting that depth. And I do think Alabama is going to move the ball kind of like they did in last year's game. So, yeah, go ahead and give me the 2.5 here with Bama.
All right. I also like an over there as well. We've got 5 games left. Then let's go watch some football. Washington State, Colorado State. Man, Colorado State last week, I had the plus 4.5 and the money line against UTSA. And why do you go for 2 there? You had all the momentum. Your defense is playing great. You go for 2. I really don't know. I think Colorado State should be favored by a touchdown here. Washington State's look pretty bad away from home. They have that one really good home game against San Diego State. So I guess Colorado State, but I'm all ears on this one if you guys have anything.
I'm torn on this game. I'm going to take the points by default. I mean, I'm not laying points with Jay Norvell. I don't think he's a very good coach. I couldn't believe he elected not to take the extra point and went for 2.
Oh, my God.
It's a crazy decision.
Insane. I will say, though, Mac, the optics are so different if that goes in, right? It's Western Michigan, Toledo. Everybody loves it. So, yeah, I'm actually going to lay it here with Jay Norvell and Colorado State because I think it's such an egregious line to even throw out there that might as well take a shot on what somebody potentially knows or doesn't.
I don't think it's. I don't know. I don't think Washington State is good at all. So I think the line's pretty close. I probably would make it. Yeah. I mean, I think Colorado State might be a little bit better than perceived. Washington State
I could see it.
San Jose State. So, Mac, are you willing to apologize for gassing up this team all summer? For those of you that don't know, Mac literally posted an Instagram selfie walking on the beach talking about San Jose State. I'm not laughing. That really happened. If you go to Mac's Instagram, he's walking on the beach with his selfie like this, talking about San Jose State. Dead. I'm not making a joke. He did that.
I might have had too many cocktails or too many cold Miller Lights while doing that. They have not lost a conference game, so the future is still alive. I keep reminding everybody that wants to shit on me for San Jose State. They're 0-0 in conference play.
If that helps you sleep at night, hey.
I'm on Stanford.
Oh, my God.
Right. Stanford, smash spot, and then San Jose starts rolling in Mountain West play.
I was going San Jose State here. What do you think, Rob?
Back? No, I'm right there with you, Cal. Stick to your guns, brother, because I think Keno Matsalolo is going to get this thing turned around eventually at some point. And I think we're enough games in that if turnaround's going to happen, it's going to start happening really fast. Stanford, I think, is just complete dog shit. And I don't know if I'll ever kind of see them winning another game unless there's excruciating circumstances. So, yeah, go ahead and give me the field goal with San Jose State. I feel really good about it, and I actually ended up betting this game.
Yeah, Max completely bailed. He's taking Stanford at a short number. It's not like he's getting Stanford +6 or something. He's lame.
I have a loyalty to the Tree Huggers, man. They came through for me a couple of weeks ago.
Boston College,
yeah.
App State Boise. I really don't know what to do with this one. I think the last two games are a lot more interesting than this one. How about that? So I got nothing.
I'm gonna play the tragic magic spot. Rest in peace, Sean Clark. I mean that whole thing. I can't believe he passed away. I mean, he was just App State's head coach last year, offensive line coach at UCF. I think App State gets up here. Boise's got Notre Dame on deck. I know I hate going against the blue turf, but I think 16's a tad high. So give me Boise to win by 14.
I'll put Boise minus 16 up, but I'm not betting this game. Rob?
Yeah, I'm taking the under here because I think if App State's going to stick in this game, it's going to be on the ground. And honestly, Boise State, I think that's their offense this year is on the ground, but not in the same kind of chunks that Ashton Jeanty lived in. So, yeah, go ahead and give me 59.5 going under here.
All right, we got 2 games left, and they're interesting ones. Matt, Kentucky's winning this outright, right?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Big Blue.
Yeah.
Dude, right. South Carolina's a phoney.
They're terrible. They're not a good team.
Yeah. This was a preseason. Them in Florida were the preseason hype. Sellers and Lagway were going to win the Heisman, according to everybody on the YouTube comments. South Carolina's not very good. I think Kentucky off the bye. Stoops has actually lost 3 in a row to them, but Stoops historically has been really good against South Carolina. Let's go. I like taking Kentucky football, not basketball. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'm with you. I think this game should be like 2.5. I think these two teams are like close. So to +6, and what is the money line at here? +180. I'll be betting that. I don't have a bet on this, but I will be betting this. Kentucky, you with us, Rob?
I'm actually going with South Carolina. And to Mac's point, coming into the year, this is a team that I was selling hardcore, but now I think it's actually reached a buy point because of how they played over the last couple weeks. And in particular, going on the road at Columbia, Missouri last week, I feel like that's a much harder road test than Lexington. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the touchdown, but I don't feel enough conviction to actually bet it in this game.
I will be betting this. South Carolina's bad. It's coming off a bye. Let's do it, Kentucky. Last game up, and kind of the same deal. I think Colorado's live in this game, and I think there's maybe a little bit of a misconception of how the BYU game went down at ECU last week. It wasn't BYU didn't beat up on them like that. I know like the final score kind of makes it look like they did. They really didn't. And now they go to Boulder. I think the lay 6.5 with Hank Bachmeier, a quarterback, is crazy. This is another one with just a super inflated line. And I think Colorado's very live here. You guys with that?
You know, I Deion is such a polarizing figure. I personally really like Deion. I just think He's really good as an underdog coach. He gets his guys up in these get-up spot primetime games, and I'm with you. BYU, that kind of was a phony final score because ECU just self-destructed.
Was it a 3-point game at half?
Oh, it was a 3-point game until ECU decided not to knee the ball and run out the clock.
Right,
They threw a
they
pick
threw a pick
six on their own
six.
1-yard line.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
it was. I mean, that should be investigated for point shaving that throw. I mean, that was ridiculous. But I ever since Dion went back to Salter, I think that Colorado is improved. I'll take the points here. I can see BYU winning by a field goal. I just think this is a lot of love for BYU and a tough place to play in Boulder.
Keep in mind they have a freshman quarterback, guys, or Bachmeier, or a first-time start.
Spot.
Yeah. Rob, you with us?
Yeah, I think Colorado's going to win this thing outright. And I think Caden Salter, 2 max points, to your point, Kyle, they went on this little quarterback detour, and it was a weird thing. I think it kind of came out of nowhere, and they pulled the plug too fast. But Caden Salter in Colorado took Georgia Tech down to the freaking wire in Boulder just in week 1. And people act like that game didn't happen now that Georgia Tech just beat Clemson and is looking fantastic. Like, I think Colorado has a chance to win this game, like, handily. And they're getting 6.5 points. It's one of my favorite bets of the weekend so far.
I'm definitely taking this one. I'm taking Kentucky and Colorado. I'm adding those two on at the end. All right. So real quick to find these guys. First, Mac, college experience. What time is your reaction show tonight? And are you going to be sober enough to make it?
The latter, no, I will not be sober. I will make it. But yeah, it'll be sometime after Colorado BYU because Colby's a big Buffs fan. So yeah, go check us out at the college experience. And yeah, Mountaineers out. I might play a little Mountaineer Buffs moneyline home parlay in the Big 12 here, baby.
Sounds like a decent idea, even though West Virginia might not score 10 points. And Rob is on the college experience sometimes, but Rob also has his own channel. So where can the people find you?
Yeah, YouTube, which is just my name, Rob Donaldson, and also Twitter/X at RobDFB. And I'll leave you guys with a round robin, too. Washington moneyline, Iowa moneyline, Colorado moneyline. If two of those three hit, I think you're feeling really, really good about your Saturday.
You said Washington. Oh, no, I'm out already. Washington's getting smoked. So I just typed the college experience of Rob Donaldson into the search. And also, I tag both these guys on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see them both tagged in the tweet. Let's go enjoy our day. Yeah, let's have a good one. A lot of good football on today. Bet responsibly. Talk to you guys later.